Introductions in the rubric for the containment SAQ, which is the common unit assessment for Unit 6. It's your test. I'm going to go through a little bit of the details. I'm going to run through the rubric here for you, make sure that you understand what we're looking for, and this is just going to sort of be a troubleshooting thing because I know when we put them on paper and you take a look at them, maybe you don't take a look at them as well as you should, or it might be a little bit of a language barrier in there where you're not understanding what we're looking for. I'm going to try to prevent those problems here. So again, we're taking a look at Unit 6, the Cold War Containment. Short answer question, that's what SAQ stands for. And then CUA is Common Unit Assessment. And we're answering the question, whenever you're writing this paper, I always want to make sure my students know, what am I looking for? I'm looking for, was containment an effective strategy? So anytime that you're writing a paragraph, that you're pulling a quote, you want to come back to this question, was containment an effective strategy? So what we're looking for in this assignment, you're going to use at least 3 of the documents. Write one detailed paragraph where you describe what containment was and explain whether or not you think it was an effective strategy for the United States to use towards the Soviet Union during the Cold War. So I don't care which side of the coin you come down on, whether it was effective, whether it wasn't effective. I care which side you defend the best. And again, we need 3 pieces of evidence. You got to quote 3 of these documents. We provide you with 5 of them. Quote 3 of them in 1 paragraph. Coming back to the actual description. Be sure to explain how each of the 3 documents you choose demonstrates containment and whether or not it was an effective strategy. Write/type your essay below and submit on Google Classroom. So it's again saying, use those 3 documents and demonstrate whether you believe it was or was not effective. And like I said, you have a choice of 5 documents. A couple of them are going to be cartoons, maps, there's some readings, there's some descriptions in there. Whichever your learning style that you prefer, I want to make sure that you understand what we're looking for, that 3 documents and was containment an effective strategy are going to be the keys. So let's take a look at the rubric itself. We're going to take a look at the use of evidence right here at the top. So you have 4 different levels. You have 4 being accomplished, that's perfect. 3 proficient, which means very good. 2 developing, and 1 unsatisfactory, you didn't get what we were looking for. So the use of evidence. What evidence supports your thesis documents? If you take a look, I always look at the bold and the capitalized items here. There's a topic sentence. So you got to have a topic sentence in here. All of these have a topic sentence. There's a topic sentence in your paragraph. It's supported accurately and sufficiently by at least 3 pieces of evidence from multiple sources. Don't give me the same document 3 separate times. It's not going to work. All evidence is properly cited. We've talked about this before, and I guess I'll tell you again. You can always use a little stem. As can be seen in a map created from various sources. As can be seen in President Truman's speech to Congress, the Truman Doctrine. I want you to tell me where you got your evidence. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't care about your opinion. No one does until you back it up. So you have to show that someone else agrees with you for people to take your argument seriously. So that's for accomplished. If you take a look at proficient, same thing, but 2 pieces of evidence. Developing, you only use 1 piece of evidence. It was limited citation in there. If you're proficient, evidence is sufficiently cited, but you didn't really put everything in there. You maybe said, according to document A. Well, I know what document A is. Pretend like you're writing this for your math teacher, your art teacher, someone who is not in the classroom every day. And then unsatisfactory. There's no missing. There's a missing topic sentence. It's not supported. There's no evidence, or evidence is not cited. You just threw it out there and you didn't tell me where you got it from. Which I know it's going to sound harsh, but that's stealing. In the academic world, if you don't give credit to where it's from, that's stealing. It's what plagiarism is, and that goes down as unsatisfactory. So, like I said, the topic sentence has to be solid. Depends on the number of pieces of evidence and how you cite them. Let's take a look at analysis. Analysis is times 2. So all of these are weighted grades. This is worth twice as much as your evidence. All right? So analysis. Let's take a look at exemplary, accomplished, the most. I always want to look at the best, and then we fall from there. The analysis accurately supports the claim and incorporates 3 of these analytical strategies. So make this a little checklist. I would go through, and you see, I'm not going to read it for all of these here, but it addresses the bias and credibility of the source. So if this is an American perspective, tell me, yes, what the perspective is. The Americans are fighting against containment. They are about containment. Not fighting against containment. They are fighting to use containment against communism. Tell me about that. Tell me the credibility of this source. Is this Jeff off the street? Is this the, president of the United States? Is this a member of a, corrupt political policy or party? What is this? Next one. Describe the historical context. This is where your background essay can be hugely important to you. Tell me what is going on. If there's a year in this, tell me what's happening in that year. This is the beginning of the Cold War. This is the middle of the Cold War. This is the end of the Cold War. We're fighting in the Korean War. We're fighting in the Vietnam War. We have the Cuban Missile Crisis. What is happening? When you provide those details, you strengthen your arguments. Next one, uses an original example or analogy. This is one of the highest levels of education. If you can take something you already know, the common person already knows, and connect it to what we're talking about, that is a high level of synthesis. That means you fully understand it, you absorbed it, and not only could you use it, you could regurgitate it. It means just like puke it out to us. You could actually connect it and teach it to someone else. So what is an original example or an analogy that you can use to connect the evidence that you're using? Okay? A lot of this can be modern day. I know that when you walk in a classroom, you have a lot of knowledge, but I want to make sure you understand what we're looking for. Next one is able to refute or give a rebuttal to opposing evidence. I like to view this as troubleshooting. You come through and you can say, this is why I'm right. And the other side is going to say this. That may be true, but I'm doubling down and saying this is why I'm right. I'll give you an example. Chocolate chip cookies are the best cookies in the world. Someone will be like, yeah, but Mr. Scanlon, chocolate chip cookies, they dry out over time and they got a lot of calories. I'd say, yes, they do dry out over time. Yes, they do have a lot of calories. However, if you close your eyes and you picture a warm chocolate chip cookie coming out of the oven, tell me any dessert that's better than that. And if you do give me a dessert, you're probably not correct. And then I would quote a source and say, okay, well, chocolate chips are the most famous, blah, blah, blah. I did my rebuttal. Yeah, you're right. Or they could say this, and that may be true. It may be wrong. Whatever it is, I'm still going to address it and say, this is why. And one of my favorite lines for this is, blank might be true. Communism did spread. That might be a true statement. However, and then I tell them why containment was successful. Or I could say this. The United States does win the Cold War with the collapse of the Soviet Union. However, and then I tell them why containment was not effective or not the reason that we won the Cold War. And the last one, you're going to establish relationships between multiple documents. Again, we come back to this idea of synthesis, fully understanding. If you can connect maybe a map to a quote and use 2 things, then we're doing a great job there. And then the last one. This is the rubric itself here. If you get a 12 on the rubric, it's going to go in as a 12 on Skyward. And you're going to see all of these items right here. This is going to be your grade. If you get a 10, you're looking at 11 on Skyward. If you got a B, that 9 is going to go as a 10.5 on Skyward. If you get an 8 in the rubric, that's a C+. 7 is a C. 6 is D. 5 is D-. 4 is an F+, which, you're failing, but yay, you got a plus. And 3 is F, which means you got a 1 all the way up and down this whole thing. Not what we're looking for. This is a CUA grade. This is a test, guys. And we're letting you take it home. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't believe there is a reason in the world you don't get a great grade on this thing. Students who earn an accomplished and proficient get an A. You get 2 proficient, you receive a B. And you can read this. I don't need to read this to you entirely. I'm telling you right now that this is going to be a skill you're going to use going forward. It's going to be a skill you're going to use whenever it comes into discussions, debates, anything like that, trying to prove somebody else that they're wrong and you're right, and also a lot of writing skills. So like I said, this is the rubric. You should know what we're looking for. Evidence. Give me 3 pieces of evidence in there. Cite them properly. I'm going to put my my little writer's workshop documents up there, but make sure you cite them properly. Introduce it. Give me a quote, and then tell me who said it. And then make sure you come with the analysis. You got to pick 3 of these methods to describe why you're right and why containment was or was not effective for the United States. I wish you guys the best of luck. I can help answer some general questions through email, but this is a test, and we're trying to get the most out of you. So show me your skills, show me what you got, put some time and effort into this, and I look forward to reading them. Thanks. Have a great day.